Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. We want black power. 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 That's right. That's what we want. Black power. We don't have to be ashamed of it.
This is not a regular, this is that boom, blah, blah, blah. Some they call it secular, I just call it black, black, black. Marcus Garvey, Bookman Dottie, bring that army, black, black, black. Malcolm X and Kwame Ture, this is where I'm at. If you wanna talk to me about black, black, black. Ali Selassie the first, Negus Nagas, let's talk about that. Kaboom, Yanni Maroon and all the Maroons, let's talk about that. The real Underground Railroad, the first subway for black. The freedom train begins with your brain. Get in on track. Whether justice or injustice, how do you react? Can you stand there laughing while they shoot us in the black? This is what some rappers sound like every time they rap. I'm raising up the red and the green and the black. Even with no cops in the hood, we still hear click, clack. I cannot forget my ancestors just because I rap. Look at me from top to bottom. KRS is black. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what black about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what I rap about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. Too many selling out. Get up, get out, reach out, lift out, get out. Time to ask the question now. Are you really black? It is not a mystery. We under attack. If you're chatting fuckery, you whole our people black. Time to put aside the fantasy and deal with fact. This is not the time to be talking all that crap. Those that talk that crap, or those that don't fight back. You can say what you like for real skill. I never lack. Black is more a consciousness, the way you think and act. Yo, get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what black about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what I rap about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. Too many selling out. Get up, get out, reach out, lift out, get out, lights out.
We have stayed here and we begged the president. We begged the federal government. That's all we've been doing, begging. It's time we stand up and take over.
Man, I'm excited. The video kept going. I was ready to keep on going. Peace, everybody. It is the guy with the bow tie checking in with you live for another edition of Business of Benefits. To my right, you will see the amazing Michelle Taylor Willis. How you doing, MT Dubs?
Hey, how are you, Daryl?
Good. I wanted to play some good black music. A KRS one has been slept on for a long time, but that song I thought was very appropriate for our topic today.
It is. And I'm jamming Instagram. I've got Instagram going on my phone, and they're like, y'all are jamming over here.
Listen, tell Instagram that LinkedIn is fun if you got the right people hosting and doing things, so we can have fun on LinkedIn.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is.
Well, let me get my song and dance out the way. I'm the guy with the bow tie helping you protect your income and your employees with different benefits. But I met Michelle a while ago by kind of reaching out and saying, hey, I see this woman on LinkedIn doing a lot of great things, has a massive resume, and wanted to kind of talk to you. But for the people that don't know who you are for some odd reason, let them know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Michelle Taylor Willis. I'm a media exec, a media personality, and author, strategist. And really what I do is sell ads. And we have a company called Ganyo Media, and we create affordable, quality advertising for small businesses. And we're a little unique in that we're not a big, advertising agency, right? We're a boutique firm. And we create our own content so that small businesses can sell ads on it. So we have a luxury magazine down in South Atlanta called Sofu Lifestyle Magazine. We have the According to Michelle TV show. We have Over the Top radio show, and then we lease billboards throughout Atlanta. So what's interesting about me is that I run the company, right? And we have a staff and different departments that do different things, but I'm also kind of the face of the company. So
Right?
yeah, so it's a little different, right? Because I'm this a media executive, but a media personality at the same time. Kind of like, I
Yeah.
don't know, Oprah maybe.
We'll give you Oprah's same
I'll
mantle.
take
Why
it,
not? Why
baby
not?
Oprah. I go by baby
Baby
Oprah, Oprah
Oprah.
Junior, Lil Oprah. That's Lil Oprah, Lil Oprah. So yeah.
I love it. We'll take it either way. And I want to real quick say thank you to hashtag Team Live, hashtag Team Replay. However you consume the content, we appreciate it. Please let us know in the comments below where you're watching from and how you're watching. And also thank you to our sponsor for a year now with the show, StreamYard. And let's show some comments from the audience, kind of checking in with us real quick. We have Kristen. Kristen, I got to get your last name right. Kristen Bigris, I believe. Team Live, great supporter from Canada. So Canada's in the house. We have Natasha Fabian. She's out here in ATL saying hi to everybody.
ATL, what's up, Atlanta?
Yeah, we got Jeff Y. He's in Atlanta too. We got to get your picture, Jeff, to see what you look like. But Jeff is representing for ATL. We have Carlotta, a friend of both of ours. She's saying
Hey,
hi to both of us.
Carlotta.
And then Tara, not the HR lady, doing some phenomenal content. I love her. She said loved it for the music, so thank you for that, Tara. And I hope people like the new show open. But like I said, Michelle, you have a great background. We got the Greek people in the house, so if you know anybody that's from Kappa Alpha Psi or Alpha Kappa Alpha, please let us know in the comments below. But you have
Yes.
a great new project. Black is the new green, so I don't know if you can tell my tie is black and green. I'm trying to get the colors going right.
Oh, do you have
But
green in there too?
yeah, it's kind of hard. The background is black and green, so those colors kind of are dark.
Did you do that for me?
I did that for you 'cause I figured, you know what, I gotta have a green tie, and I was like, oh, it's black and green. This is perfect. So it's
You
great
you know
show
what's
idea.
what's really funny though, Daryl, is that we've done two of these shows now for Black and is the New Green. And you want to guess what color I've not worn yet?
I'm gonna guess green.
Yeah, which is crazy. And in one of my first guests last week, he said it. He's like, Michelle, your show is about green, and on your promo you have on green, and you're not wearing green, and I'm not wearing green. I was like, oh shoot! Like next week, I've got to wear green. Did I wear green last on Wednesday? No, I wore like some caramel color, and now I'm wearing blue. I'm wearing
It looks
navy.
black on the camera. It looks kind of like dark blue, so I guess it
It's
works.
navy. It's navy. Yeah. So
Well,
I got some
either way,
work
it's
to do.
fine. No, but the topic, I love it. I wanted to ask you first off, like, obviously being a black female, you got to represent your culture to some degree. But what gave you the idea of doing the whole show for Black is the New Green?
So a funny story. Do you want the long story or the short story? Do we have like two
We got
hours? Do
time
we
for
have
either
like
one. We don't
okay? All
have
right.
2 hours, but
Well, it all started. My grandfather was a sharecropper. Not just joking. Um, so what happened is, it wasn't entirely my idea. I got hired by a woman. Her name is Mona Gafrawi, and she might actually be listening or on here. And Mona is one of the top women in tech and fintech. She's like Forbes list of top most powerful women in fintech. And she found me on LinkedIn about a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
And just for anybody who thinks LinkedIn does not work or can't make you money or do any of those things, I tell people all the time, if you are in business corporately, if you have your own business, whatever it is, if you are not LinkedIn, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing money every single day. So that's all I'm going to
Oh
say
yeah.
about that. And this story is one of the ways I can prove that. Um, and so we did this campaign. You might remember this, Daryl, over COVID. It was like MTW pays my bills, and
Hmm.
we put the. Do you remember that? And
Hmm.
we put this video out, and basically, I was just telling people, listen, for 2 months we took in people's bills, and every week I would have one of my team members or staff basically pull a name. This woman, Mona, who I love to death these days, she saw the video. Now, I wasn't talking anything about business. I didn't say anything about,
Hmm.
Black people or COVID, or, well, I did say something on COVID because we were paying bills through COVID, but um, it was just a video about me saying, send me your bills and let me help you pay them. And from that, she was like, oh my gosh, I want you to host a show for us. I've got this new network called Radavision, and it's built for entrepreneurs. At the time, we thought it was going to be like the ESPN for entrepreneurs, so that's kind of what she pitched it as. And she's like, I just need you on the team. Can you come and I want to hire you to host a couple of these shows that I'm doing? That was a year and a half ago. And through that process, one day about, I don't know, 9 months ago, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in my car and we were just talking about all of the ways that Black businesses and Black people were leading the way in terms of tech and startup and not having access to funding and all this stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, look, we got to get this right because Black is the new orange. And Mona goes, oh, no, Black is the new green. And she goes, oh, I'm going to get funding for it. I'll call you back in 2 months. That's how it went. That was literally, and I'll never forget it because I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and at first I was like, is she serious? Like, is she for real? And then,
Mm-hmm.
a couple months later, she was sending me graphics. Like she took a picture of me in green and put what you see now, right, on all the business, Black is the new
Yeah.
green marketing collateral. She started with that. We went through like 20 renditions and 9 months later, I can't remember when, but now we got Black is the new green. And let me pause there. Do you have a question? Or I can continue to explain what we mean
No,
by
I'll
this.
put from the question up there, but I do want to say Dina had a comment. She said, I love Black is the New Green. It's such an inspiring show. So thank you, Dina, for that comment.
Yes, it is, Gina. It is a very inspiring show.
We got
What's
more
up,
ATL in
Tanya
the
from
house.
PTL?
Yep, and then Terry even said, we aren't being on the nose, Michelle, so it's okay with the color. We're good.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
But I love that it
Um,
just kind of came from, and that you mentioned that LinkedIn will work if you're out there, because a lot of people, when you mention the IG people, are like, y'all are jamming. Like people think that other platforms kind of think, oh, it's just putting your resume up there. But some of my best relationships, like you and I met through LinkedIn, some of my best
that's right.
relationships came from LinkedIn.
That's
And
exactly
I
right.
love that you're doing this initiative because you've seen in the last year and a half, 2 years, a lot more Black exposures happen on LinkedIn. And not to discredit any other races, it's just for a long time, LinkedIn wasn't really showcasing the Black entrepreneur. So, for people that haven't seen the show yet, what are you trying to accomplish with this show?
Yeah. So what we want to accomplish with this show, Daryl, is really to show people the power, not just of the Black dollar, of Black spending power, because we know that already. What do we own like $1.8 trillion of the right?
Yep.
But it's the fact that Black founders, Black entrepreneurs in the startup space, and even sometimes corporately, right? There are a lot of people who are building these entrepreneurial enterprises within a corporate environment, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that this Black entrepreneurial revolution thing is real and it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And we, Black people, Black investors, Black founders, Black entrepreneurs, are the new wave of building real wealth and generational wealth and creating this like organic grassroots dollar and then infusing it back into the American economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really what the show is. So we interview entrepreneurs, we interview investors, we interview people in the startup space, founders. It's not just about tech, right?
Yeah.
People used to use startup and tech kind of interchangeably,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not that way. Startup doesn't have to be tech, and vice
Yeah.
versa. But yeah, so we interview these people and expose what they're doing, how much money they've raised, the trials, tribulations, wins, losses, and what it's like to be a Black founder in a
Yeah.
space that traditionally has not welcomed them at all. Like you said, LinkedIn wasn't very welcoming or exposing of the Black experience. Well,
Mm-hmm.
startup, tech, you know, VC world, investment, none of that was either.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think about Calendly is one of the biggest tech companies that's been around now, and people didn't know for a long time. Like, that's a Black man sort of Calendly,
Yeah.
and it was never really touted that way. But the interesting thing about this as this is happening is kind of like if you were training with weights on, and then all of a sudden you took the weights off. That's what I think kind of what you're showing off is that Black entrepreneurs have had to be at a disadvantage. Something that Andre Dickens took from I can't remember the young man's name, the owner of the Gathering Spot. You know him. I can't think of his name right now. But he said that Black businesses are
Ryan,
over-mentored. Yeah, Brian Wilson. That's it. Thank you.
Ryan Wilson.
Um, Ryan Wilson, black businesses are over mentored and undercapitalized. And it was a great thing because it's the truth. You can get any mentor you want in a black business, but when it comes to getting the money to have it happen, that's where it's hard. And it's like we're running with weights on us. But now with your show, I hope it kind of helps them take the weights off and actually
Yeah.
do something. Because you've been with me in Professionally Black a couple of times, and that's kind of was a vision for that to kind of showcase on LinkedIn what we go through. But for people that are not melanated, what would you hope they would take away from this experience if they watch the show? What would you hope they take away from watching Black is the New Green?
So let me piggyback on something you said real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You and this is a great. I heard. I can't remember if I heard Andre say it or Mayor Dickens say it or Ryan when he first said it,
He
but I
took
do
it
remember.
from Ryan, yeah.
Huh?
He said I'm taking it from Ryan.
Taken
So
from Ryan. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
And so the interesting thing here is that, and I was having a conversation with somebody earlier in the music industry, and to your point, we were basically saying, listen, when somebody really, really, really believes in you, the way you know it is that they'll give you their money. They'll give you their money, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will give you their money. And at the end of the day, Black founders have not been invested in. We weren't taken seriously for whatever reason, right? And so we haven't been able to get our hands. Hi, Marcello. We haven't been able to get our hands on that money, on those capital, on that capital, on those funds, on those resources. So
Mm-hmm.
traditionally, that's what it's been. Um, and so for my non-melanated um, listeners and viewers out there, as you like to call them, Daryl, uh, so that's been the struggle. And so I think what we want you to hear and to understand is that our ideas are fantastic. Our ideas are worth investing in. Our
Yep.
ideas are worth you putting your money behind it. But if you don't, that's okay. Because just like we figured football out and golf out and tennis out and soccer out, um, and every other thing that we were pushed out of, just like we
Mm-hmm.
figured all of those things out, we'll figure this out too. And we are, because Black is the new green.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And the bad thing, the dark side of this, when he said if you don't want to, I think it's okay just to walk away if you don't want to, but not to push someone down. We recently saw with the gentleman that was coaching the Dolphins that went through the text gate with they found out the job wasn't his, and they told him, yeah, you got the job, and did the interview and everything. But that experience is so common to black folks where we don't kind of find out why didn't I get something, and it's just people don't want to share the opportunity. It's not about, you can say I don't want to work with that person, but to push them down is a whole other element. And I hope that you sharing these experiences helps people kind of open their heart. Because much to your point, I mean, Calendly, we all love it. It's something that everybody uses. And imagine if that didn't get funded and somebody else would have probably stole the idea or whatever. And it's unfortunate to think that a good idea is pushed down because of color. But there's so many black inventors and black entrepreneurs. So with Black History Month being right now, I love that you're showcasing future people. Because we always hear about Martin Luther King and George Washington Carver with peanut butter and the stoplight and all these, the same things we hear over and over again. But there's a lot of stuff being made now in history. So what you had 2 episodes already.
Yeah.
What can you share with the people that haven't watched it for your first 2 guests? What was some interesting insights you got from those first 2 guests?
Oh man, we got some really, I want to say doozies, but not doozies, more aha moments. Um, but one of the things I heard yesterday, I interviewed Vernell Woods, who is the founder of Moolah Mobile and one of the founders of Culture Wireless, which I can explain those later. But anyway, and one of the things he said, and by the way, Vernell is 30. I think he just turned 30 or 31. He's super young. He's like 12. And he went to Georgia Tech. Uh, he was he did technology for Grand Hustle. We know who Grand Hustle is. In case you don't
Yeah.
know, that's Tip Ti. He was on the technology team for Governor Perdue, who's now Senator Perdue. And I asked him a question, and his response to the question was, "This is not the space for you to be if you want to feel like loved or cared for or wanted or welcome. If you are looking for some place as a Black founder that you want to feel welcome, do something else. This is not the place."
Mm-hmm.
And he was so matter of fact with it, Daryl. it was like.
Yeah.
He was like, it's like it's awful. There's no help, there are
Mm-hmm.
no resources traditionally, right? Um, it's a lonely, dark, scary place. And the guy that I interviewed the week before last week, Shasha Jumbe, who um, founded Level 42 AI, which is a COVID detection device company, he said the same thing. He was like, "This is like hard. It's so hard. It's really, really hard." And here's one of my takeaways from this, Daryl, is like, okay, you work so hard on something and you have the data to prove that it works. I think this is what gets people, right? As a Black founder, where you can show data to prove that your
Mm-hmm.
idea is as good or better than whatever is out there, and you can't get somebody to buy into you because they
Yeah.
don't believe in you as a
Mm-hmm.
people, as a culture.
Yeah.
Like that can't feel good. You know what I'm
Oh, not
saying?
at all. Yeah, you and I have a friend in common, Brian Jennings. He is the founder of the only black payroll company in the U.S. And I was talking with him yesterday, prepping for an event we have tomorrow, and he mentioned that he has to show data to get deals because some people with payroll are just like just run the payroll and they can get it and say fine. But with him,
Yeah.
he's like, well, I have to show my track record because I know marketing, I know SEO, and all these things. And their friend that is the same race can just say, here, do it with no track record and they say, okay, you know marketing, fine, let's do it. But versus him, he has to go through the ringer as a black-owned business, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that still happens because I feel like we're evolved enough as a people to realize that we all can kind of have access to the same things and do the same things to a degree. But there's
Yeah.
still kind of this caveman thing happening with business that no, you got to look at the same as us. So for people that have been with those experiences, kind of triggering to see probably what you're showing in the show, they probably get triggered like, man, I know what that's like. I worked in tech for years, never had help. But as a black woman, it's probably even harder for you because you're going into different spaces, getting into tech and media. How do you kind of grapple with that? Kind of seeing this new revolution of black empowerment kind of happening right now. How has that felt for you as a black woman?
You know what? I have to say, Daryl, my experience is probably contrary to what others have been. Now, mind you, I haven't been a Black founder. I haven't stood in front of somebody and asked them for $10 million for my company, right? I haven't done any of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't really speak to that. What I can speak to though is just my experience in the business world as a Black woman, as a woman, and I have to say, I mean, unless there's some things that are happening unbeknownst to me, which I'm sure there are, I have felt very welcome. I haven't hit, I mean, of course, I had roadblocks as a business owner, right? As an entrepreneur, the things that
Mm-hmm.
frustrate you in business. And it is entrepreneurship, period, is hard. It is
Yeah.
not something that you don't go into business. I interviewed Scales on my other show from Nappy Roots. You remember the group Nappy Roots?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so I interviewed him on my TV show a couple of days ago, and he was like, any people go into entrepreneurship thinking they're going to work less, and it's the opposite. You work more, you work
Right.
harder, you work tirelessly. But when you're doing it for your to write your own check, to sign your own check, and doing what you really like to do, it doesn't feel as hard, right?
Yeah.
So I felt good about the rooms that I'm in, the arms that have
Mm-hmm.
welcomed me, the other Black women that have surrounded me, the other women, right? Mona, that have surrounded me and kind of helped me and mentored me and given me money, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
I love what this woman said earlier that I was talking to. She's like, the ultimate sign of somebody believing in you is giving you their money.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Kids and money. Those are the two things people aren't going to allow you to mess with. Don't mess with my kids. Don't mess with
Yep.
my money.
Hit some reactions for that, folks. That's so true. Don't mess with my kids and my
Yeah.
money.
And yeah, don't mess with my kids or my money. And to your point, to if I might, um, you mentioned Black history is now. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things we want to expose to. I mean, I think Kanye said it a couple days ago. He was like, it's Black Future Month, right? Or,
He
you
copied
know,
that from a friend of ours. We got Martin Pratt in their hashtag Team Live. Kanye West
hey,
copied
Martin.
Martin Pratt.
Did Martin say that first? What's up, Martin?
Martin said that last year. We had a whole event for that last year.
Oh, okay. Dang, I missed that. Sorry, Martin. Well, my buddy Martin Pratt said something very profound. Uh, he said, yeah, it's Black Future Month. It's Black Present Month. And to your
Hmm.
point, we have amazing people doing amazing things right now that are going to
Right.
affect the generations well into well into the future. And so
Hmm.
we need to be capturing and understanding and investing into these people right now. And the thing is that one of the things we do on the show is we're going to make sure that whenever we have a founder on, there's a profile page. So you can actually go and invest or learn about investing from in their company right from the radivision.com website.
Hmm.
So we're going to make it very easy for you. We want anybody and everybody to support these founders. I mean, we're going to be interviewing investors, right? That
Yeah.
talk about, you know, people not taking their money seriously. You got a black investor that says, "Hey, I want to put half a million, $1 million in it." And people looking at them like, "Really? Okay, sure you do. You mean like monopoly money?" I'm just being dramatic now. I'm stupid, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah, and it's sad, but unfortunately, it's the state of the union right now. People are acting that way, but I don't know. It's just a weird thing that we don't see it and embrace it. Well, not we, but a lot of people don't embrace it and see it. And
Yeah.
Carlotta had a good comment right there, spot on. When people believe in you, they will give you their money and support. So thank you, Carlotta, for saying that. And folks, I want you in the comments, go ahead and tag your favorite black business in the comments or black entrepreneur, because I work in a lot of circles where I see people and I like to make sure others know each other. And I've been thankful to introduce Michelle to a lot of people. She's introduced me to people. So go ahead and comment with your favorite black entrepreneur or black business in the comments, because there's tons of people that know, but there's still people that don't know Calendly's a black man. And Calendly is used in every business circle. So the fact that people don't know, that's kind of shocking. But also, this small business realm is not getting the love in the black space, especially. Black women and Hispanic women are kind of outpacing starting businesses more than anybody else, but they're still not really capitalized and funded. So for the minority businesses that are out there, what have you seen kind of as not even a technique, but what are some methods they can use to kind of find capital or just grassroots it?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and that's another reason why people would want to um, tune in to Black is the New Green, because those are some of the tips and things that we're going to give away. And on radivision.com, I think one of the biggest things that people need to kind of dive into when you're talking about Black founders and investors is the network, the
Mm-hmm.
community. And you could do that literally through searches. And there's incubators out there, there's accelerators out there um, that can really put you on pace to get you in front of the people that have money. I mean, somebody just put in the comments, the McBride sisters. I mean, Serena Williams has a fund now. So
Mm-hmm.
many entertainers and Black notables have funds. Google who those people are, reach out to
Yeah.
them, but get into the network. What's happened, I think, in the past is that the resources were there, but we didn't know how to get them. Access is a thing,
Yeah.
and we haven't had access. Now, we have access, but we don't know how to go get it all the time. And
I
so
feel like
sometimes
also
us knowing how to go, huh?
I don't mean to cut you off. There's a slight delay. I also feel like sometimes for a long time the resources were there, but we weren't talking to each other. We were kind of like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to rock the boat and mess up what I got going on, so you figure it out.
exactly. And that's what I mean by the community.
Yeah.
That's why the community is so important. And then getting involved with other founders that are doing the same thing and reaching out, because the community is where it's at. And Martin, I know, can speak to that. I mean, he's done a fantastic job of building
Mm-hmm.
a community. And the thing is, we have all these different places to find the communities now. But again, we got to do some of the work. Like, you got to go out there and find it. Like I said, Googling who has funds, right? Googling
Yep.
in your area, startup networks. Um, Watching Black is the New Green is a great way. I mean, I don't know.
Ding,
I'm
ding,
just
ding,
throwing
ding,
stuff
ding.
on the wall and seeing what sticks. Radivision.com. But yeah, I mean, you you one of the reasons I know, and this is not black, white, brown, or otherwise, people fail in business because they don't have the go get it mentality. And sometimes you have got to go get it. And the people that go get it might not get it the first time, but eventually
Hmm.
they did, right? You know how many times it took WD 40 to get it right?
I believe it was 40, if I remember correctly from the
That was
story.
40 times. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was 40. They named the product after the 40th formula
Yep.
because the 40th formula is what was right. And
Yeah.
you got to get after it. You have to be in this space, you have to be relentless. So that means being relentless about who's in the community, relentless about your research, relentless about what funds are available and what incubators. But that's what you would search literally. Like you can go and Google and search incubators for startup,
Hmm.
incubator for tech, accelerator program in Atlanta. Um,
Yep.
use those words and go out and find these communities. That's one of the easiest ways that I do. Does that
Yeah,
answer
one I
your
could
question?
recommend. Yeah, that does answer it. And one both of us know Dr. Rashana Novellis with Enrich Her. That's a great one for Black women. That's here in Atlanta. So Enrich
Yep.
Her, Dr. Rashana Novellis is one you can check out. But that
She was in the
that's
Super Bowl
is
commercial.
yeah, she had that Logitech commercial last year. I know she has one this year, but she was in the one last year. So
Yeah.
it's cool, and it's cool just seeing that because she's a really down to earth person, and she started doing it because women weren't getting capitalized for businesses in tech. And there's things everywhere, but I think it's much to your point, like Martin's doing, bringing the community together because we just don't look for it. We just hear
Right.
about it, but people aren't actually putting action. So I'm a big believer in applied knowledge is power, not just knowledge, but
That's
actually
exactly
applying
right.
it and doing something. So Black History Month. There's a lot of turmoil right now. Right now, teaching Black history in several states. Georgia's one of them, where we're having an issue with removing uh, parts of our history, and it's kind of unfortunate because the history helps us not repeat itself. So we do need to talk about Black history just to understand not having the same problems as the past, but we're almost being erased in certain spaces. So as we're here in Georgia dealing with this right now, as you're starting this show, are you prepared for the backlash you might get from certain people that decide to log in the right division and they know what the show is about and they decide to go in there and troll you? Are you prepared for that situation?
I mean, I don't, sure.
I figured that'd be your answer.
Yeah. How about it?
There you
How
go.
about it?
Because it's the trolling situation is real for certain spaces, but some people could care about it more than others. And I appreciate that. I know you get it from men and women sometimes just saying crazy things, but I love that you just kind of stay you. And that's something I think people should pay attention to. This idea is the reason I think you've done so well is you're just you. You just worry about I'm performing, I'm delivering, so deal with it. It's kind of what I get the vibe from you. Do you think that's why it's been a big testament to your success as a Black woman?
Um, Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Not a
I do
problem.
believe in this kind of authenticity and transparency to a point. I mean, I'm not telling you all my business, but I just it's just easier for me if I can always be the same person. That way, I don't have to be
Yeah.
somebody different with you, Daryl. I don't have to be somebody different when I'm with Martin or with Donovan. If I'm pretty much the same person all the time, at least fundamentally, you know,
Hmm.
then it just makes it easier. And so I think I do know for sure when people feel like they are dealing with the real you,
Uh huh.
then they are more open, they're more flexible, they're more willing to give you their money. I mean, I'm in sales, right? So I think, yeah, that's definitely help, but it is me. Sometimes it's too much of me. I mean, I've been told like, hey, could you tone me down a little bit, Michelle? I'm like, sure. Yeah. But I mean, I believe that if I'm empowering people to empower people, it's all gonna work out. I really stay positive. That's why trolls and all that. I mean, like I keep my thoughts positive. I keep the people around me positive. I don't even
Hmm.
allow I don't have any of those anybody that isn't like minded or better than me in areas around me. They can't even enter my like stratosphere. It's almost
Right.
like God literally protects me from, you know what I mean? Like I don't even engage that way. I don't think that way. I don't engage that way. Um, and so, I think all of that has probably been really helpful.
Awesome. 'Cause I wanted to make sure you touched on that because we're in Georgia, and obviously there's a new Georgia and the old Georgia kind of going on. And I think some people kind of get apprehensive of working with a white business sometimes as a black professional. Like, well, maybe they won't let me come back. Maybe they're just quoting me just to give me a chance to quote it, and they won't really do it. But I think I'm much in the same boat as you. I just kind of go do the work and just stay me all the time. And it reminds me of a story when I was talking with an agent one time about calling somebody and say, "Hey, will you use your white voice?" And I was like, well, no, I don't do that anymore. There was a time when I had like the phone voice of like I want to sound whatever that means. We all had this
Yeah.
vision of what that voice sounds like. But then I got to a point like, no, I'm not gonna remember to do that voice every single time I call them. So if they don't like what I sound like, because think about it, you don't know every single time when they call me, I just answer the phone like Daryl speaking, and I'm just like, oh, it's not the voice. That's not the one. You're not him. Hang up. So I'm just myself. Just say if you don't like it, I can't work with you. But it's trying, I think, for some people in this current day and age because of all the issues of social media. But stay positive, folks. If you're out there trying to grow a business, it's hard anyway. So comment
Yeah.
if you agree with that. It's already hard. No matter what race you are, it's still going to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It is hard. And, but it's super rewarding. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for me, I never really had to code switch because I always sounded quote unquote white. You know what I mean? So
Whatever that means.
whatever that means. Yeah. I remember like literally growing up, and people would say like Michelle sounds like a white girl. My black friends would say Michelle sounds like a white girl. And I was like, I just conjugate vowels,
Right.
subject vowel agreement like that. Like I don't know what you mean. You know what I mean? And so I've always kind of sounded the same, I think. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting though that in popular culture, people want to sound like us though. When they look at commercials, like you're in media, so it's amazing to me that in 2022, that most of the commercials have like a urban vernacular to it or a twist to it all the time. Like the music is always our music, or it's kind of like the wording is kind of funny to use ourselves. So it's kind of interesting that in a business setting they say, "Oh, sound like the other culture," but when it comes to entertainment, it's like, no, 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 sound like that culture. It works better.
I mean, listen, every culture's got their thing, right? And I think
Yep.
what we have seen for sure, and black people, white people, like everybody will agree to this, that there's something magnetic about black people. The culture,
Yep.
the music, our ways to communicate. So much of what we have, we had to create out of necessity. You
Hmm.
know, we had to create out of necessity. If you think about it, I mean, you know, we were brought to a place where nothing existed fundamentally for us. We were stripped of everything. And if you think about it, it's very different in lots of different cultures, right? It's
Hmm.
completely different. I mean, if you think of, people from India, the Indian culture, they have their culture, right? Asians, they have their culture. When you talk about a black person in America, I mean, we have to create, right?
Yep.
That's why people are going back to the motherland. Like, is African our culture? But then you have people here, it's like, well, I'm not born in Africa. I don't know about African culture. So I
Hmm.
am trying to create whatever that looks like. Like, we're constantly pulling from different places, trying to create something that
Yep.
just belongs to us. We don't have that, right? And we're one of the few cultures that doesn't. Um, so, I find it flattering when, we create music and everybody loves the music, right?
Yep.
Or we create fashion and everybody loves the fashion. Because there was a time when, and there's still a time where we created lots of stuff and nobody liked it and they didn't want any part of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, you had two guests so far in the show, right? The two published or two interviewed.
Two interviews and published. Yeah, those are live. They're streamed on Radivision Live, radivision.com. And so you can watch them there, and it's streamed through YouTube, LinkedIn, um, Facebook, I think,
Hmm.
Twitter, and Twitch. Yeah.
Okay. A question I want to ask for what you already have in the can and what you expect. What do you expect to be like the common theme? You've already done two of them, but what do you expect to be the common theme for all these founders and startup entrepreneurs that are black? What do you think the common thread will be with all of them, besides being black, but far as the story?
Well, black. Yeah. I think
For,
there's a couple. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead, you got it. No, you got it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think there's a couple of different things we can look at here from the perspective of what they're going to offer. I think the common theme is going to be that they love what they do and they believe in it so hard, but it's so frustrating to get people to buy into it.
Hmm.
So this love hate relationship with what they're doing and the feeling of defeat and frustration in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, if you were cooking in the kitchen, but you get burned every time you cook something.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yep.
Um,
And my wife had a good comment to add to what you just said. She said, actually, it's hard to pinpoint our culture because we are everything, which
Everything, and we've had to
my wife
create
is the
everything.
reason I have more culture. My wife, I give her total praise for helping me focus on it more because as a military brat, I've been everywhere and nowhere black most of my life. So it was kind of like she helped me kind of get that fire to look more into it. But go ahead and finish your point.
Um, I have no idea what I was saying. I can't remember my kids' names, Gerald. So to ask me to remember something I was saying 15, 30
It's
seconds ago,
okay. But so
dumb.
now what time does the show come on? I know it's web based, but when do they usually air the
Oh,
new
common
episodes? Like a
themes. You're
certain day?
asking about common things. I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I just remembered. So those are the common things I think we'll get, like the love of this, and yes, it's worth it, but it's insanely frustrating, and you got to be ready for that. And nobody's
Hmm.
really ready for what that looks like. On the flip
Right.
side, though, yeah, but stay ready, so you got to get ready. Wait, stay ready,
Hmm.
so you don't have to get ready, which sounds great on paper, but um, I think on the flip side of things, what I want, what I think a theme is going to be that people that will resonate with the viewers is that it's worth it.
Hmm.
It's worth it. If you have an idea, if you know it works, if you have the data to support it, and the data is not, my mom loves it and it works. She uses it every day and it's amazing. But if you have the data to support what you're doing and people are buying into it and people are giving you money to prove like it's worth it, the fight is worth it. And I think because that's part of what we want. We want to be inspiring. We want to be
Yeah.
empowering. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We want people to leave and say, I can do this, and here's how I do it. We want
Yeah.
investors to leave and say, I want to give more people my money,
Yeah.
right?
I like it because I think that's the thing about it too. We hear about most of the history of black entrepreneurship is always kind of way dated, but we don't have as many current stories of like Damon John's probably one of the biggest recent massive successes of black entrepreneur. But overall, we hear celebrities hit things, but not so many of the grassroots. I started this thing, so I like that you're showcasing specifically black entrepreneurs in the startup phase and just everyday people. They don't have to be a celebrity. They can be just I started this company from scratch and this is what it is. Now, when do new episodes come out? When on Radivision, is there a certain day of the week or day of the month for the new episodes?
Yeah, so the shows air live on radivision.com every Wednesday at 9:30 Pacific time, AM, and 12:30 Eastern time. So it's kind of over that lunchtime hours where people are grabbing a quick bite. They can, grab lunch and watch this or listen in the background. But
Hmm.
it's between 30 and 35 minutes. We're usually wrapped by about 5 after the hour. But the show consists of, obviously kind of this conversation that I have with the guest. We usually show, some of their product and their videos, stuff like that. And then we actually provide a question and answer um, kind of segment at the end. So people can ask questions, offer comments. And the past two shows have been very engaging. There have been so many questions where I'm like, okay, like I hope nobody else asked a question because I got to, in the
Yeah.
show. But people love what these founders are doing. And I know we're only 2 shows in, but trust me when I tell you it's going to get much better.
Awesome. Well, folks, the website is below. I'll do my YouTube dance, radivision.com. Please check out the website and just support. I love that there's so many platforms to find black entrepreneurs and really any entrepreneur at the end of the day. I'm very open to work with anybody, but I like seeing my people are standing up doing more, or not even doing more, just being seen finally. We were always doing things, but now it's being more brought to the spotlight because of the internet. So thank you, LinkedIn, for not shutting us down for talking about black stuff. So thank you for that. And thank you for our Instagram people you have on your feed, because they'll be fine. Nobody will shut down Instagram for black stuff. It's just LinkedIn, you never know.
Did you see how the TikTok TikTok, they're talking about some of the black creators are boycotting. We're talking about
Oh
boycotting
yeah.
TikTok.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw they're not getting paid as creators, and they're just everybody's stealing their dances and their funny things, and then just ripping it off. But
It's
people like
always
our
a
culture.
struggle.
Yeah,
Always a
always a
struggle.
struggle. Well, luckily, much to my analogy of running with weights on, we've been running with these weights on for a long time, so I'm sure they'll take those same things from TikTok to YouTube Shorts or wherever else they decide to put it. But
Yeah.
Michelle, it's always fun talking. We're gonna make sure people know to go to Radivision. Definitely go there. Is
Yep.
there anywhere else they should go
Radivision.com,
to
you
get
can
more
watch the
information about
show.
you?
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, you can go to radivision.com to watch the show. Like I said, it streams live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if you know founders that are raising money, investors that invest, because we love telling those stories too about what it's like to invest
Mm.
in companies. You know, people on either side of the coin that believe in the cause and understand the cause and know the flight, entrepreneurs, suggest them to us. Go to radivision.com, or, you can slide into my DMs, as people say. Um, I'm at Michelle Taylor Willis on just about everything: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I think I'm Michelle T. Willis on Twitter. Who took the Michelle Taylor Willis on Twitter? Like,
We got to
who
start a
are you?
campaign.
What person are you? Can I please have my name back? Um,
Please delete your Twitter account.
I know, right? I need that name. But you can go there, and definitely suggestions. We always want to know what amazing things people are doing. And you can find me on my website, michelletaylorswillis.com. And if you want to buy ads, you can always go to ganyomedia.com, GAGNANT media.com.
And I'll plug one more black founder at blackowned.com. That's a great place to find. It's basically kind of like Black LinkedIn to a degree, but blackowned.com. Quentin Anderson's the founder. And when you mentioned that, having the name, it struck in my head because he bought blackowned.com like in the 90s from a Chinese guy. So the funny thing with
Oh
the
yeah,
Chinese
I
guy,
know this guy. Who is this? Who is
yeah,
this?
Quentin Anderson.
Oh yeah, Clinton.
Yeah, blackowned.com was owned by a Chinese guy, and he bought it from him. Like, why do you have this? So it was it's the foresight of the name. Maybe you can buy it back from whoever has Michelle T. Willis on Twitter. You can buy it from them.
Well, let's be clear. I'm not paying for it. So if you got it and you want money for it, just keep it. I'm doing fine. We'll be all right.
I gotcha. Well, folks, please be safe. We appreciate you tuning in for us. If you're on replay, tag a friend that might find value in this. Our YouTube family, thank you. Our LinkedIn family, thank you. And first time on Instagram for me, thank you to the Instagram folks there. We will catch you guys next time on Business with Benefits.
All right. Thank you so much, Daryl, for having me.
No problem.